Okay, so I'm not sure if I got it, but that is a pretty interesting machine. So your Y base moves this way while the Z and the X are actually rotated around this way and move positive this way and minus this way. So it's kind of like these two axes are flipped. So I think I saw what you saw, which was the first thing I did was just set this is how I set the piece up on your table, which is this, you said this lower left corner or the front one on your machine that goes under that X and Z, that if we're facing the front of your machine right now, uh, this was the 0 point. So then what that has it do is that has all your Y reversed because this is actually moving in this negative thing. So yes, what I did was I changed the value to a +1, and that fixed it. So on your machine parameters, this was -1, and then I set these limits, and then the X, I did put a +1 because everything moved and simmed right, but the code was outputting negative X values. And I think that's what you said you didn't want. And then the Z is a positive value also. So just the Y is negative on this one, and then the X and Z are positive values. And so what that looks like is let's give you a sim because I wasn't sure. I'm doing this because I wasn't sure if you had the simulation that allowed you to show the machine and stuff simulate. So I just want to show you what might this way. If you don't, you can at least look here at my machine configuration. And that's the other thing is we may have to talk to Al about is because of your machine is reversed. If I flipped everything around, in other words, if I flip the STLs around so it comes up facing default view this way instead of, I guess we would go to the back, would have that pop up right away. But anyway, so there's your workpiece. Let's turn some of this off and make so you can see the cut there. And then the workpiece 0 now is back over here, this back corner, right? And so simulate it real quick. So I think that's how your machine moves now. I don't think it does machine coordinates. Like what I had to do was reconfigure your STLs to 0 out on your 0 point of your table right here. And then you set stuff using work offsets and the machine's initial starting point and all that kind of stuff. Because you had your Y table out here and then the X crammed all the way over here. But that would be more like machine coordinates. And I don't think this is reading machine coordinates. So if I did that, what happens is the part 0 would be way out over here in the where 0 was in the coordinate system where your file was made. And then these parts were all moving, but the X and the Z were moving way over here, and the Y table was moving over here, and the part was actually being cut over here. So I zeroed the machine, everything out to this corner of the table, which is the 0 of this UCS in here. And then you can move the stock and everything around with the work offsets in your machine setup. Like for this, if I just the only thing I set was a Z work offset, which is the thickness of the stock. If I put that at 0, then it's buried right in the table, and so I just think that's the way the system works. I'm not sure. Maybe we're gonna get Al to chime in. Anyway, so and then so now just to show you too is let's close that out, and then we'll post some code. And because I changed that X value to a positive number instead of a negative number, then we now get all positive code, which is X positive and then the Y positive also. So I think that's it. Um, I had some issues when I was making the STLs with scaling. I was getting a reverse with when I was saving the STLs as millimeters. They would come into the simulation massive, like uh, scaled up. So what I actually had to do was save the STL, or what I did was I reopened the STLs in Bobcat, and then I used the scale function and I scaled them down by the 0.093, the millimeter scale down, and then now the simulation looks pretty good. So we can relook at that again too if you want, and let me know if this comes close. I'm going to put the machine file and also this test file that I have right here so you can look at all the settings and that kind of stuff, and then we can talk about it later, okay? Later.